Okay. Looks like we are here. Okay. I'm not seeing the time, but it looks like we're starting. So hopefully, let me check something in the background. I just had a whole bunch of trouble starting this stream. So give me a second. I'm going to check this for the first 30 seconds or so to make sure that I am here. Let me put in on this account. Let me make sure I hear myself. I'm not seeing the time. Okay. Yep. We are here. Okay. You see the title. We are talking about the 200-meter predictions that I got here. You're going to see the lane assignments just as I do. So stay tuned for that. We're going to talk about the women's and the men's.
Hey everybody, y'all see the title.
Okay, everything's glitching up on this side. Sorry about that, guys. I had to turn off my mic. But anyway, we're going to see the Jamaica Olympic trials for the 100. And we're going to see both the men and the women. Let me pull this up on the screen over here. We just had a lot of stuff here going through. But yeah, did you guys see what was going through? Jackson looked like she was pretty good. Shelly Ann just did enough to make it. She's not trying to aggravate anything or anything like that. And then people are saying that Brianna Williams is still going to make it through because they select that. I'm not sure how it is in Jamaica. I'm sure that's a little bit different for the U.S. But, you know, there's a lot of politics involved. But let's look here for the semifinals. Let's look at the 200 meters first. And I'm going to pull up Gabby Thomas in the beginning. We're going to pull up Gabby Thomas, if I can get this on the screen.
And her kids taking in the action. And of course, Allison Felix was the Olympic trials winner here in both 2008 and 2012.
Top two in each semi go through, and there are 3 unqualifying spots.
I don't expect this to be close. The way
Here's Sha'Carri. It's a lot of people that saying that Sha'Carri will win. I'm going to hold my opinion on that one until after. Let's look at some of these right now. And Sha'Carri is in lane 6. All right, she's looking very, very good right here. Now I was telling y'all about Long. I was like, I don't know about that.
That's a personal best song. Yeah, I mean, she's getting better every time. You can tell she's just having so much fun.
Okay, let me see something here. All right, let's skip through because this is a compilation of all of them together. Let's go to the next heat. And I think it's somewhere around here. Okay, here we go. You're gonna hear Sha'Carri screaming loud on this one.
There is one Olympian.
Amari Davis on the outside at 9.
So all of the people that I said, Brittany Brown, Sha'Carri Richardson, Gabby Thomas, as the top contenders of this, they're all showing up in their own semis. So we're going to see how this one goes.
Top 2 go through. Second semi of the women's 200.
And Amanda Mackenzie Long responded well to the gun. So she's already made up the stagger on battle. But on the outside, it's Brittany Brown and Davis running well.
Brittany Brown is ahead at the moment. Mackenzie Long in the pink spikes. Look at her. This is going to be close. Only the top 2 go through. Mackenzie Long's
And then Long has come through right there.
And she had to work for that one, Otto. She had to work for that one.
All right, let's go through.
That final. So right now, that's going to be Tamari Davis, who sets a new personal.
So Mackenzie Long, Brittany Brown, that 3rd place.
Okay. Davis. Gotta do a little better than that. Okay. Let's go through. And here's the talk of the night with everybody, with Gabby Thomas.
Because she wants to continue to give back, and I just admire her so much for juggling and balancing all that she does.
And then I'm going to give my opinion because I'm going to look at the heat lane assignments. I took a screenshot of that. I did not look at the men because I just saw it. I was like, man, I got to give my reaction on the first time looking at these. Because the lane assignments do affect a little bit.
Tamara Clark.
Okay, here we go. I think this is right before they started. Yep.
It's going to be a phenomenal final tomorrow, but who will fill those spots? Here we go. Final semi.
Okay, now this one was good. Gabby got out on this one. Here she is getting out. And she's not even known for all of this right here. This is different. She got out on Steiner. Like, ate her up. I know she's recovering from injury, but still. And then as she said in her interview, she just kind of shut it down. You can kind of tell she's not really trying anymore here. She's just kind of going through the motions. And then it's obvious right here. She just packing it up. Packing it up and running a 21.78. Packing it up. Okay, I'm going to give my opinion right here. Sha'Carri Richardson ain't winning this one. Like, there was some, my friend was saying Sha'Carri Richardson got this race or something like that. And I'm like, nah, I'm not getting that one. I'm not getting those vibes from Sha'Carri Richardson at all. Even with the other one, I said maybe she looks like she could be somewhere in contention. But now it is kind of set. If Sha'Carri Richardson gets it, I'm actually going to be surprised. Now, Gabby might not have that type of start. Right there, she going to need that type of start. If she don't got that type of start, okay, she needs that one finish that we saw when she qualified for Tokyo to get this one. And remember, I called that as a one-off type of thing. And history has proven me to be correct. All right, let's look at this. We got Jada Mays in lane 1. So I think she was the third place finisher in Mackenzie Long and Brittany Brown's heat, if I'm not mistaken. So it's Jada Mays, Tamara Clark, Tamari Davis. Okay. Jenna Prandini in lane 4. All right, let me move my phone. We got Abby Steiner in lane 5, Sha'Carri Richardson. Okay, can somebody tell me what the L is for? Like, can somebody tell me what the L is for? I don't know what the L is for at all. It's like a yellow L. Are they trying to tell us something? They like leader, loser, legendary? I don't know. But anyway, what is the yellow L for? So, for anybody that knows, if you don't know, best guess is mine. I didn't really feel like looking it up because, to be honest, I didn't think it was important enough. But Sha'Carri Richardson in lane 6, Mackenzie Long in 7, Gabby Thomas in 8, Brittany Brown in lane 9. Okay, with the way that these lanes are set up, since Gabby had the fastest time, I gotta go and guess that she requested to get in lane 8. Because don't they, correct me if I'm wrong, but the people that are in the lead bubble or whatever, they can kind of select the lanes that they go in. So I'm going to have to guess that Gabby asked to be in lane 8. Sha'Carri must have asked to be in lane 6. And then however they stacked up from there. Correct me if I'm wrong. So if that is the case, the way that this is set up, maybe she wanted to be far enough away from Richardson and maybe just in front of her so that she doesn't have to worry about anybody else. Brittany Brown is actually a pretty decent a curve runner, so that'll be enough inspiration. Because remember, Gabby was like, all I focused on was trying to get out on the person in front of me. And then she said she blacked out. I can believe that. Because the way she was looking, even before that interview, I was like, dang, what is going on? Something got into her. And I said, wait a minute, she running too fast for the semi? And then looking at the time as she slowed down, I'm like, man, she didn't shut down 80 meters before the line at least. And then she shut down a second time, somewhere around 30 or so. Man, that got me excited when I saw that. And I was in the middle of doing some uphill 300s. That was during a break. I had a 12-minute rest. I had some speed endurance yesterday. I was looking at that, and I'm like, this got me pumped up for the last one I got to do. So, anyway, getting back to this. So, Gabby Thomas, she going to come away with this. The question is, how fast? If she doesn't get it, Sha'Carri Richardson got to run hell of a time. That's the way I look at it. It's got to be one hell of a time. Because, yeah, anything can happen. Gabby could pull up. She doesn't have a good start, slip out, false starts, all of that. But let's just look at it from a actual standpoint mathematically. What are y'all thinking here? Number one. And then number two, let's talk real talk. Gabby ain't getting beat by nobody here. For real. Gabby's not getting beat. Nobody in the United States can light a torch to an uninjured Gabby. That's kind of like with Elaine Thompson Hero. If she's not dealing with an injury, it's hard pressed to find even two people better than her at any given point. I mean, she has beaten Shelly Ann Fraser Price. I think she's only lost to Shelly Ann 4, maybe 5 times in a head-to-head. World Athletics even got that little head-to-head matchup. Out of all the times that they competed, almost nearly 20, she's only lost literally a handful of times. Unfortunately for her, she's got to deal with nagging injuries all the time. So that's the one thing. And then she's wearing heels on her birthday. I saw the comment section on her Instagram. They're like, stop wearing heels. It's going to cause an Achilles injury. And that's kind of what I was thinking too. I'm like, yeah, I know you want to celebrate. Hey, you got your real life. So getting back to this, Gabby Thomas is not going to be touched by nobody in the U.S. Her biggest competitor are going to be competitors outside. And the number one is going to be Sharica Jackson. After seeing what she did right there, we're going to see what she does in the 200. But after seeing what she did there, I'm pretty confident that she's going to be up and ready to go. Is it going to be her best time by the Olympics? We're going to see. I'm confident, like I told y'all, with the coach that she got, the brothers, whether it's the main coach or anybody else, she's in that camp. With the coach that she got, I'm confident right there. As long as she makes it out of the trials, because Elaine had times like that where she barely made it out of the Jamaica trials, and then she come by, and then she's double Olympic gold and everything like that. So, and she's done that twice. So, now, Sha'Carri Richardson and Gabby Thomas. The question is the time. I'm going to go off on a limb the way that Gabby Thomas was looking. She got like a 21-4 somewhere in her. If she can replicate that performance, that's a 21-4. Not a 21-5, a 21-4. What's going to happen is she's going to have good wind behind her. That was a plus 1.4 that she had. And I'm going to look at a 21-45 to 21-48. That's what I'm looking at, somewhere around there. If not, she's just going to have just under 21-6. If the wind's not there, she's probably, they're going to hit wherever. But I'm not going to throw out other times. I'm going to put my stake in this. She's in 21-4 shape right now. If she can replicate that, and she has a strong finish. Because she doesn't have that lightning finish that we saw her with Tokyo. It was like that Olympic, like, I got to make it after all this injury type of thing. That was like a one-time thing. And we saw it. If she could replicate that again, shoot, who knows what time. But if she replicates her typically strong finish, then that's a 21-4 something. If she's just kind of like 98% there, she's in the 21-5s. But I see a 21-45 to 21-48 from what I saw that she did in that race. She's going to have to replicate that, though. If she has any other type of start other than that good start, that was one hell of a start for her. That's going to be good. Sha'Carri Richardson now. In order to beat her, I say Gabby Thomas got to be like at 90%. And then Richardson got to be above herself. And that means the race is going to be in the 21-7s. If it's in the 21-7s, maybe 21-6 high, Sha'Carri got a chance to beat Gabby. I really can't see her pulling out anything 21-6, low, 20, or below. I can't see her pulling out none of that. I don't see her pulling out none of that. Now, I do see her really running really fast, but yeah. Yeah, that is crazy season best, yes. So we are about to see some crazy stuff going on. Now, with who gets third? Now, this is going to be the thing. Let me check this here. Now, I've been saying people. Let me look here real quick. We're going to look at these personal best here. This is not the time for Davis or Clark, in my opinion, but I got to check something on here real quick. And that's what I thought. I say these two people, I always get them confused. I'm not even gonna lie. With their similar sounding names, I get them freaking confused all the time. So Tamari Davis and Tamara Clark, I get them interchanged between a 1 and a 200 all the time. But anyway, I had to check that for myself. The question is Mackenzie Long gonna make it? And I still want to say Brittany Brown, but the way Long kind of ate her up, and she's between the two juggernauts, it's like, you know, okay, I think Sha'Carri can, if she gets out on this curve better than she gets out on her straight. For some reason, she's able to do that. Then I would say that Sha'Carri might be even, or potentially eat up on Long, because he's just straight out faster than her. If she gets a fair curve, Sha'Carri should be able to eat up on Long a little bit. Will it be enough for her to see in her peripheral and then wake her up, be like, wait a minute, I'm getting ate up on, and then that pushes her? Because if so, that pushes her and she makes it. If not, if she's not just there and she's got Gabby, now Gabby is a good beacon for Long as well. Because if she could get in and eat up on Gabby, yeah, Gabby is going to pull away from her. I wouldn't put it past, if I were Long, put it past my head. I'm like, look, I want to win, but if this happens, then here's my backup. Like in the middle of the race, she's trying to win. But, you know, you got your realistic talks outside, or you got all of your talks outside and everything like that. Okay, if I'm eating up on Gabby, hey, I'm good, because I'm eating up on the #1 athlete that's in this field. I don't care about nothing else. If I can stay close to her up to, you know, 80 to 60 meters left, I'm good, because she's going to pull away in that last 60, 50 or so meters. That's what I would be thinking if I'm Mackenzie. And I think that's going to be her best chance. These lane assignments right here are perfect for Mackenzie Long. She's in between both of them. The only thing is, if the pressure gets to her head, Abby, I don't see her making it at all. Anybody else, I just kind of feel sorry for them. But I can't put it past anybody else for that third. Brittany Brown, she's got that, she's already got her medal back from the World Championships in 2019. Let's see if she's hungry for this Olympic Games. Let's see if she can pull something out. Not just hungry, but pull something out. Because she's got a lot going against her with the rest of that field on the inside. And she's on the very outside. Nobody to pull on from. She's got to run blind. She just got to get out freaking hard. She's got to do it. So that's my analysis right there. Let's look at the men real quick. Let's go ahead and look at the men. Give me 1 second, guys. Man, people keep putting up messages and whatnot on me. Let me put this phone away. So, where are we at? Oh, yeah. So, let's put this here on the screen. This is Nick, your host, and you're listening to Head and Shoulders ATR, where we cover athletes' performances and otherwise that are head and shoulders above the rest. Let's bring up the men real quick. And let's look through these. Then we're going to look at Jamaica, because, man, Jamaica is doing a thing. The U.S. is doing a thing in the 200. I would say right now, I'm going to save my comment for later. Everybody was saying Arian looks different. And I'm like, yeah, he got a little bit more bulk. He got taller because he's growing. Remember when people were first seeing him? I mean, what was he, 16 years old or something? So, I mean, he's older now. He's about 20 or so. And then he got that little, he's got the, that haircut. It looks like he's about to grow a high top. Okay, Arian in lane 8 on the outside in all yellow. So for the people that didn't see it, we're going to see it here. Fair use, y'all. Fair use YouTube and fair use USATF, NBC, whoever, Flow Track. Stop hitting me with the copyright claim. I'm going to keep on pushing it back. All right, I don't know what happened to him. Now, Knighton looks all right. He looks like he's kind of going. He's not going 100% from even where he was. It's like he was just stretching his legs out. That's what he looks like now. But as a tall person, they kind of all do kind of look like that sometimes. He's kind of rocking a little bit. He's doing exactly what he needs to. Nothing too much. He's getting out of there. And he said, no interview. He's doing his old style where he's like, no, I ain't doing no interview. So Knighton looks exactly as he should. Here's Kenny Benrick. All right, let's go ahead right here. I'm gonna crunch through these real quick, and then give my analysis on it, and then look at the lane assignments because I haven't seen them yet. Now, yeah, he is looking pretty decent. He's held back. I can see him already doing just enough. Just strutting through. Man, that is so crazy. It's like, what is it about the people that are pretty decent in their 200s and they come down and they do well in the 100? They just look like they floating on ice. I just want to get one of them in an interview and be like, do you just, like, is it because of the speed that they got in the 100 now? Or is it plus the confidence? It's like, look, if I could beat you in the 100, you definitely ain't beating me in the 200. Because that's how my best friend is. He's like, look, he hasn't seen a person yet that he hasn't been able to beat. And 100 is not even his good event. It's the 200. So he's like, look, if I got them in a 1 and they specialize and they're faster than me, they are not getting me in the 200 on that same day. No. Okay, he's doing the red, white, and blue. I caught you before Otto said it. I was like, okay, he's got his red, white, red, and blue in this court, in that order. So he got his USA American flag fit on. Man, I feel for Coleman this year. I mean, it's gonna be hard for him. I mean, if he gets in there, man, that's rage fueling him, actually. But I feel for him in the open events. But if he makes the 200, that we might see a brand new Coleman. All right, Lyle's getting out, doing what he should do. Coleman kind of got out on him a little bit, but he stays ahead the entire time. See, this is what happens when you got somebody that's straight up faster than you in the 60, but you're roughly their same speed. He got out on him maybe until, what, 30 or 40 meters? Then after that, it's like, it's a wrap. That's why I feel for Coleman. Coleman's test is, how long can I stay with Noah? The longer he stays with Noah, the better it is for him in the final. And that 19.6, shoot, that's the type of energy I'm on. He's just like, what, me? Man, this dude is a character. Now, I will say this one thing here. Guys, what was it when they had the interview and they were asking about Kishane Thompson? And then they said, hey, he ran a 982, I think it was at the time. And then he was like, hey, I hope he doesn't get injured. Man, some of y'all slow bus kids need to calm the heck down. Because he wasn't saying it as a diss. But some people like to complain about, you know, anything. Obama drank like a Pepsi. And it was like, he's supporting Pepsi. How dare he violate Coca-Cola? It was like that type of thing during Obama presidency. Even though he's a sellout bootlicking coon. But anyway, or Tether, actually. But with that type of thing, just chill out on him. He said, I hope he doesn't get injured. Just like what as a fan would. I've said, I hope Elaine doesn't get injured. Or other people that are injury prone. Gabby. He's saying it in a, like, I hope he doesn't get injured. He's okay with his competitors. He studies them. And then he said, I'm going to study you and I'm going to beat you. Let's say he loses this year. I am sure he's going to go back to the drawing board and say, all right, what can I do so that I can beat him in the future? That seems like the type of person he is. He probably already, after the trials are over, gonna do something. Because when he saw Arian Knighton run at 19.4, he was like, wait a minute, I gotta... What was he doing? He was out at dinner or something. He said, wait a minute, I gotta leave. Let me go ahead. I need to do something different. Once he saw that kind of woke him up. So that's the type of guy he is. I would assume he's bringing that same energy. So guys, just calm down just a little bit. We got emotions flaring, people flaring up. Let's look at the men's lane assignments. Then we get to Jamaica real quick. So we got Jamarian Stubbs in lane 1. We got Jeremiah Curry in lane 2. Robert Gregory in 3. Courtney Lindsay in 4. I think in another year, like any other year, Courtney Lindsay would have a really good chance. It kind of really depends on what... I'll save my comment there. But I think in another time frame, Courtney Lindsay will have another chance. I mean, this dude is very quick. We got Christian Coleman in 5. We got Noah Lyles in 6. Arian Knighton in 7. Kenny Benerick in 8. Kyrie King in 9. This is kind of looking like how the women were set up, in all honesty, where they had all the powerhouse people in 6 through 9. Like all of the people you kind of expect to be there sitting at, no offense to Coleman. Kyrie King is kind of there. Let's see if he can break 20. I got confidence that he can, even though he's running blind. That might actually help him in this case. It's better than lane 1. Better to be in lane 9 than in lane 1 with that tight curve. Better to be in lane 9 than lane 3, in my opinion. But, hey, people have made it out of lane 9 and in lane 1. With that being said, no allows, obviously. The question is how fast he runs. When he's pulling out these Exodia cards, I'm almost thinking that he's trying to tell us something, like he about to obliterate the competition, because that's what that Exodia is, like an automatic win. There is no way to beat Exodia. So either he's saying, hey, I'm unstoppable because this is, I'm preparing for my, 200 where nobody could touch me. The 100 I'm less certain with, because he pulled that out after the 100. He was like, look, I'm confident now. I'm getting ready for my event. Or he's trying to tell us like he going to set a record, either the stadium record by Michael Johnson, or he's going to set the American record. With a legal win, again, I can see him going into the 19-3 range right now. I don't know if he's got the 19-2 or so with him. I want to say it, but I might just be kind of hyping him up a little bit more. I want to say it. He's got a new personal best and everything in the 100, so that actually should help him. I say outside pocket, he's 1925 or below. In a regular sense, as long as the wind is legal and it's not against them, and I really hope it is. I hope that it's legal and it's to their back, like a 1.4, a 1.6 or something like that. I see him going into the 1934, 1936. That's why I see him right now. If not, I mean, he might just have a okay day and he's in a 19-4, but he's still going to come away and win against everybody else. I am hoping that the way he set up this lane is that he wants to eat up on Bednarik, because he just had to assume that Bednarik was going to be on the outside of him because he get the preferential treatment. So he chose lane 6 in this case, where Gabby chose lane 8. So Kenny being 2 lanes outside of him, he already knows that he's going to eat up on Knighton. He's not worried about that. So Kenny being 2 lanes outside of him, if he could eat up on him coming out of the curve, then he's got a very, very good shot at going into that sub 19-3 range. In my opinion, if he eats up on him majorly, if he just is ahead of him, then of course he's going to pull away. So that's why I look at right there. Let me pull up the Jamaicans. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. You said, can I speak on Lolo competing after that? Okay, yeah, I'll do that after the main topic real quick. I was going to save that for a different video, to be honest. Let's pull up the Jamaican, because my computer was whacking up. So now I got to type that in again. Give me just a second. Smash that like button, y'all. It's about 100 people in this live stream. Smash the like button. We're about to get to the men and the women. Should I do the women first? I think I am. I'm going to go women, then men. Tia Clayton was going very, very good. Let me make sure this is the actual video and not one of those commentary things. I think this is. Let me see. Okay. Okay, here it is. I found one right here, if I'm not mistaken.
Double
Yep, there we go.
World Junior Champion back in 2018.
Then to Shashali Forbes representing Sprintech.
Okay, here we go.
Yes, Shashali Forbes, the big star for Sprintech, trains with Maurice Wilson, has done 10-9.
86. No 19-year-old in Jamaica's history has gone faster, and she shows up in big form.
With her sister,
Dennis Mitchell is dominating the U.S. Women's 100, and Stephen Francis is dominating the Jamaican 100.
1065. She's the 3rd fastest Jamaican woman in history.
Is she wearing blue contacts? Somebody tell me that.
The silver medal last year in Budapest. Sharica Jackson, the superstar, ready to defend her national championships.
Yeah, Kemba Nelson.
Lane 5, Kemba Nelson, represented Elite.
Yeah, 1088. And so much has been said about her and her form, but
All right, let's go past it a little bit.
That makes her all of
Y'all know I got a bias with
She'll be 38 years old
with Sharica Jackson. That's not the televised ones, not auto and everything. How come the American, when she showed up at those track meets, I heard some of the commentary from people there live, and it was like, Allison Felix, a track and field legend in lane 4. And then it's like, that's it? Man, every time she's showing up on the track, and we knew that was the year she's retiring, we knew that that was the last time she's showing up, you better brown nose the mess out of her. It's not really brown nosing. You just giving her a proper introduction. Like, I'm like, man, some of these announcers need to be fired.
Lane 7, also from MVP.
And it's coming from a person that's been announcing. Oh, wait a minute. Did we miss somebody up in here? Oh, yeah. It was Brianna Williams. No, we got the field. Let's go ahead.
her resilience and her dedication, she lines up one more time with a fan.
Era would have been added to this classy lineup. The men's 100-meter final.
See, I knew he said men's. I just didn't feel like playing it back the other time. I'm like, what? Women's?
Great time to
They said
see
only
the
here for
Jamaican
Jamaica.
Stadium.
That's funny.
And across the globe. Set. Bang, where they go.
Come on, y'all. Some of y'all got a real bad bias.
Got an excellent start. Tia Clayton is running the race off.
Okay, let me do it real quick. Before we get into Sharica,
Bang, where they go.
can we go and talk about Kimba Nelson?
Across the globe. Set.
This was really messed up.
Where they go.
How she tripped right there. I think that took her from
Tia Clayton is running the
what
race
she
off.
could have done, and she tried so hard, and then she just faded and went backwards.
Spectacular performance.
I think she would have at least got one extra place up. One. What do y'all think about that?
And across the
Because she's right here.
bang, where they go.
Trip.
Kemba Nelson,
Now she's got to try real hard. Her drive phase was done.
Clayton is running
She's
the race.
already upright. It was just over.
Jackson turns out the afterburners now. Spectacular performance. 10.79. The
And then Shelly Ann was trying just barely enough. Let's go here. Shelly Ann was like, all right, I'm doing what I need to do. Let me shut it down. So I'm like, okay, cool. And then Tia, that was decent with her. That was very decent. So this is what I got to say on this one.
On the big occasion,
She's over here. She's hulking it up. Now, after seeing this and seeing that it was basically a flat wind with the ladies right here, man, as I said before, Sharica Jackson is the biggest threat.
from Kingston,
Hold on.
Paris. Awesome performance.
Okay, let me mute that. I'm just going to hide this playing in the background. So, yeah, Sharica Jackson is the biggest threat to Sha'Carri Richardson now. But I got to put this here. If Sha'Carri brings in a decent start, here's the problem with going against Sha'Carri for any other competitor for real, when Sha'Carri is on her game. She's like a slingshot person, right? So if she goes backwards, we've seen this time and time again. She'll go backwards in a race and then slingshot and win. And now nobody can complain because I know some of y'all said, I'm only here for Jamaica. Hey, for the people that don't really care about actually having an honest mindset for real, when Sha'Carri was first coming out, y'all were like, well, she can't do an international competition. Americans this. Y'all had to be silenced for the last few seasons. Like, for real. Because the competition is there. Here's the thing. Sha'Carri can beat anybody, anywhere, on any track if she has, because her top end speed. The only one that can outdo her on that top end speed is Elaine. If Sha'Carri comes in with a good start, a fair start, that world record's going down. That's just how fast she is. So I'm confident that if somebody ain't getting, I don't know how many meter lead that they're going to have on it. She's just going to have a combination of that atrocious start, and she just is not able to close in on a person, because we see her time and time again. She's in 10-6 shape right now. And many people were saying this would have been a 10-7. I agree. This race right here would have been a 10-7 for Sharica Jackson, meaning that she still has time to peak. She could slim up a little bit more. That's going to be great. She gets the benefits of bulking up, the strength, the power into the ground from bulking up, and now slowly but surely started to come into form. Fantastic. That's the bulk side. Even some of the close sprinters to me, they do the same thing. They bulk up during the year. They power themselves up. They're running their times. Then when they start slimming up, they getting lightning quick toward the end of the season. Fantastic. Sharica Jackson's doing that marvelously. The problem is that if she don't get a lightning start, because Sharica Jackson is just an okay starter. She's not a lightning starter. If the way she's going to beat Sha'Carri, because their matchup is like Elaine versus Shelly Ann. Almost every time Elaine goes against Shelly Ann, she wins. Virtually every time Sharica and Sha'Carri meet in the 100, Sha'Carri got the up on her. Okay? That's the problem with that. It's like a bad matchup. If they are next to each other in the lane, then it's more likely that Sharica Jackson is going to lose. If they got a couple of lanes over, remember, I even said this to my best friend. I wasn't talking to you guys, but I should start doing some of this live like they do those watch-alongs in other countries. I just don't want to do that necessarily because I'm in the middle of working out too. But I'm on the phone with him, and I was like, yeah, TT Terry, what lane is she in? Because I'm outside, and I'm like, I'm about to do a 150 or whatever it is. And then so I'm on the rest portion, and I'm asking him, I'm like, hey, what lane is she in? And I was like, yeah, she's going to make it. And he's wondering why. He's like, no, I don't see her. I see this person. I see them making it. I said, no, she's going to make it because she's not next to the action. She's going to be distracted by Sha'Carri. That's not going to help her because she's going to go backwards. She has nobody to key off of if she's next to Sha'Carri. But then if she is then alternatively next to her other teammate, that's also going to mess up because that is her teammate. She might be a little bit too comfortable. But when she's two athletes removed and you can't really see them but in your peripheral, but barely, she's going to run like a bat out of hell. And that's exactly what got TT Terry there. That is going to be more of an advantage to Sharica Jackson, not being next to Sha'Carri. Not being next to her. I know technically I think they weren't the last time, but she needs to be removed from her. They said all who hyping Alfred going to be disappointed. Let me read the comments now. They said track being fast ain't got too much to do with it. Wait a minute. Somebody saying a track. Legendary SS Jackson. What's up? Let me see. Has to run a 200. Yeah, I'm waiting for that because I'm going to do another analysis when it comes to the 200. I still say Sharica and Gabby, that's going to be the head-to-head. I think everybody agrees with that head-to-head going into the Olympics. I just wonder, man, I just kind of wonder if Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone. Man, I just wonder. But anyway, since she's not in there, yeah. They said Tia really stepped up. Shocker. I would say that's not too much of a shocker, to be honest. Because she's part of that super crew at different times of the year. We had Kimba Nelson, we got Brianna Williams, and then we got Tia and Tina. Those athletes were kind of expected to kind of take over from what they were showing as a youth. So her stepping up isn't too much because think about it. You got Elaine not there. If Elaine was there, think about it. This was going to be a repeat of the top three. If I just wonder if Shelly Ann would have been knocked out, or would she have run a little bit more aggressively? Because she's aware of what the abilities are of everybody else. Even if they do, all she needs to do was get third. There's nothing else that she needs to do. Even going for the win, it's in Jamaica. She's like, hey, I've won Jamaican champs this many times. I've lost the Jamaican champs against Elaine and then went and beat her because it's world championship season and everything like that, and she's injured. Okay, cool, great. But she's like, hey, this is the Olympics. So I think even in an alternative, what incentive is there for Shelly Ann to even win in the year that she's retiring? It's like, I'm going to save myself really for when it's the biggest importance. So it might have been just a repeat of the big three. But with Elaine out, I didn't look at that as a step up. Let's play this again, but mute it. But with a lane out, I didn't look at that as a step up necessarily. I just looked at that as her stepping into exactly what she needed to do. That's kind of expected. That didn't surprise me too much. I was very happy with her. I saw how she was. Oh, one thing I will say, Tia was cheering like crazy when she made it into the final. I was like, is she kind of cheering prematurely? I'm like, she over here cheering like she made Paris. I said, please don't get too excited. And then her sister came up. I was like, please don't get too excited. And here's the thing. She was leading the race for a second. You know, Shelly Ann and I think Tia actually was in the lead, to be honest. And then it's like, okay, she, you know, as she got smoothly passed up by Sharica Jackson, and she started to lean forward and do that was that windmill? She started windmilling at the end. Okay, cool. But she was really celebrating, and I was kind of nervous. I'm like, wait a minute. Don't use all that energy too much. But, hey, it paid off. Now, Julian Alfred, I see her kind of in the mix, but I kind of look at her right now as a Dina Asher Smith type. Like in years past. You kind of see her doing something in the 100, but then you don't really see her as a win. Like, I can see her medaling, yeah. But I don't see Julian Alfred winning. I got to be honest. I haven't seen anything from her this year at all that would indicate, okay, she's going to win. But if she come by and wins, I'll cheer her on. I'm going to cheer her on. I will take that L. I'm not even going. I don't see her winning in, if they had the race 100 times. Nah, I ain't even going to say that, because this will be one of those famous quotes that people will use if she wins, though. I'm not even going to say it. I ain't even got the balls to say that. I'm just going to say this. I don't really see her winning that often if they ran that thing over 100 times. I'm not even going to put a number, because it's a very low number, but I'm not going to put it. So I don't see Julian Alfred winning. Her being a danger as far as a medal, yeah. Yeah, definitely. But a win, no. And then you said, you out your mind if you think the world record is gone. Sha'Carri will be tired in the finals. Kevin Brown. Yeah, I think she could get the world record. If she's running if she could run a 10-6 with a atrocious start. Think about Tyson Gay. Tyson Gay had really bad starts, and he still ran a 9.68, 9.69. Imagine him having a good start with that same thing. The man's was on fire. Like, okay, that's just, look at him when he was running against Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt took him very serious. In 2009, Bolt was literally looking to his side, because so many people was like, no, Bolt had this easy. No, if Bolt thought he had it easy, imagine the type, if he thought that in his head all year round and didn't realize that Tyson Gay was a serious competitor. In his head, he might not have gone as hard in practice. And that time that he ran, going sub 9.6, wouldn't have happened. And then when you look at the shot, they were pretty much even. He wasn't pulling away from Tyson Gay. Tyson Gay just don't got no type of starts. And at that same time, Usain Bolt had a good start. Usain Bolt was also another one that didn't have the best starts. He had better starts than Tyson Gay, though. So when you just got to look at the makeup. If Sha'Carri gets her starts and somehow is able to come out with those starts better, that world record, I am very confident that world record goes down. She's just too big on slinging people back in. And then I see somebody saying rounds don't tire her out. And then Jamaica don't have a fast track. Valerie Webb said, I'm real behind on these comments. So let me get these real quick. And then I'm going to go to the men. They said Jamaica track is old AF. I thought they did a new track. Did they not? But it's also the same track that was in Berlin. So it is a fast track, but it don't matter, because fast tracks, all of that fast track, slow track, it's been run there enough, and it's enough people that has run on Oregon for me to be able to tell the difference. When you watch enough of these races, you could kind of equivocate some of the performances. Like if somebody goes to Florida to do a time, and then somebody's on another track, you could kind of start getting a feel, because they go to these tracks all the time. And a lot of these athletes run on a lot of these tracks a lot. Even though Sha'Carri, you're not really seeing her run in Jamaica like that with the 100. These women have run in Oregon, so you know what a time looks like for them at Prefontaine, for instance, and at the World Championships, for instance, for Sharica and all of them, compared to going on Jamaica. This right here, that's looking good for them. Islander said, let me go over to the men real quick. Wait a minute. They said Gay had a bad start in his 969 race. Yeah. And then Stay Curious said, I don't get why Sharica is running the 100. She should just run the 200 and break the world record. Coming down from a short time, that it can help you. But yeah, I do get what you're saying, but it can help you. They said fast track should be taken with a grain of salt, not used to the season your whole. And then they said, Islander said wait a minute, I'm losing track of this. No hate, Elaine Thompson ran 10.54, and when she did, I barely hear people talk about her breaking the world record. Sha'Carri runs 10.65 once, and we are skipping all the way to the world record. The bias. I see more bias coming out of Jamaica and the island, to be honest. There's a lot more. Like when Sha'Carri pointed out, hey, you know, when they're winning, we're better than everybody else, but when I win, we're all together. That's a whole ass bias right there. Like, that's a big bias. So when somebody's saying something like that, you know, everybody got their own thing. Just like when somebody tried to complain with me when I said something about, I didn't see, it was Shelly Ann running. And let me bring up the guys real quick while I'm doing this. Here we go. I'm loading up the men right quick because this was good. Let me finish off this statement. When I was talking about Shelly Ann Fraser-Price, when she could have just broke the 10.6, but she didn't lean, and she eased up at the line and ran that 10.6 flat. I'm like, dang, come on now. Just put that 10.5 up on him. But she's got that speed, but maybe she'll never run that now, right? But I was calling and said, yeah, she might get the world record, but then at the same time, I didn't say it that much. So people came after my head when I saw Sha'Carri running slower and saying that she could get it. Here's the difference. Shelly Ann is old, and we got to admit, you get older, you're not going to have the same abilities. You're not going to have the same growth. At some point, that is out of range. At some point, it is out of range. Sha'Carri, on the other hand, is younger and still young, and you still got time to break these world records and everything. Although, when I looked at different studies, some say 21, some say 23, and some as old as 28 years old. When it comes down to the 100, it's closer to 21 to 23 years old in that range. And when it comes to, for personal best, that includes world record. And when it comes to the upper end, it could be 28 years old. She's got time. She's got time to keep improving. That's the difference. And Elaine is injury prone. I could see her getting that, but then she got to stay healthy. That was my stance. If you go back to the video, I said, okay, world record watch. I even said that. I said it myself. And other people may have said it too. But at the same time, it's like, okay, injury. Because with both of them, I'm like, okay, she may as well just go for this world record. And that's what Otto said. He's like, okay, the Otto was talking about the world record was on countdown during that year. So that's where I was with it. So guys, just keep that in mind. Sometimes we kind of selectively see what we want, because from what I saw that season, there were a lot of people still thinking that the world record was going to go down. They're not going to keep repeating it because, one, Elaine is injury prone. I'm not going to keep repeating it like that. That season, while she was still healthy, I was worried. I'm like, look, she needs to shut it down or hit this world record. Because every time she hits this track, I was getting more and more concerned she's going to get injured and then mess up her next year or the years after that. I thought she should have just shut it down. That was my opinion. So, let me go to the men real quick. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. Then they justify using Sha'Carri starts. This is Islander again. Elaine nor Sharica has good starts. Every athlete has a weak part of the race. Are we going to use that to use what ifs for every athlete? No. Okay, here's the thing. Sha'Carri is working with a coach that can fix her start. So that's the difference. It's like if you had somebody working with Coach Francis and then everybody is talking up. I mean, I think I've seen you and other people. They're talking up Thompson. I mean, that's what we're going to do during the year, right? People are going to talk up people. This is part of the sport. It's part of speculation. That's what makes it fun. But I'm going to use this in another way. If you're working with certain coaches in certain fields, they can improve on that part. So, yeah, it might be part of her race, because I saw your comment, Jackson. That could be part of where she is. And you might say, well, if she doesn't start slow, she doesn't have that acceleration. Not necessarily, because Noah Lyles improved his start, and it didn't take away from any other part of his race at all. All it did was help him. You saw what it did. You could see it even easier in the 200, but you also see it in 100 because he went from not winning at all to winning. See, he's able to win and weave himself through. It may not be the most exciting things that people see because he's not flashy. Like when I saw Tyson Gay, I'm going to bring him up again. He was exciting to watch on a track from a standpoint of he was back behind people, but he was like a motor, an engine. And he came up and it was kind of exciting to look at him. But Noah Lyles in a 100 isn't as exciting, like to look at himself, but to the rest of the field, he's able to come through and then win. And then the celebration, that's exciting in itself. But his running style in the 100, not necessarily. He improved his start. He improved the rest of he improved his chances to win the race. If Sha'Carri improves her start, it doesn't mean it takes away from the rest of her race. All that does is move her up, move her closer there. That's all I got to say on that one. So let me go finally to the men. Let me see. Oh yeah, you said don't Jamaica still say the real world record should be Elaine's time in Eugene? Yeah, I know, right? Let's see. Now for the men, let's go here. I might get back to some of these comments later.
Big man from Sprint Tech, Maurice Wilson, shout out again. 994 at his best. Ran
World indoor champion, bronze medalist over 60 meters. He 10.01.
Fair use, YouTube. Fair use.
From lane 3.
Fair use. One spot median everybody else in Jamaica.
ran 998 in
Man, I'm about to get a whole bunch of copyright claims on my thing.
First time below 10 seconds, one of only 3 men who have run sub 10 to get to this final. Go for it, Brian Level. Deliver what you promised as a high school.
Okay.
Eyes on the prize. 4th at 2.
Man, when he was doing this, I was like, man, bro, you doing too much. I get what you're doing, but you're doing a little too much. But that's his thing. He's trying to stay focused.
In lane 6, a man who posted on social media a couple of days ago that he was ready, Kishane Thompson, came into this season 985. First sub 10 was last year at 991 at these national championships. Got a silver at the.
Dang, you said they learn best through taking beatings. I know, right?
985. Last night he ran 982 to become the equal 6th fastest Jamaican in history. Lane 7.
Okay, Thompson is ready, so let's go ahead. Let's go ahead.
983 for Oblique Seville.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold up. I can't let this one go. You just said, but the real world record is what Elaine ran. No, the hell it's not. That 1049 is not a fake record because look at the 200. Okay? I had some reservations myself. Look at the 200 time. What other woman is getting there? Sharica Jackson can't get it. And if you like, hey, what's up with that? Sharica Jackson is struggling to get that, and she still ain't got it. And we know that was done at the Olympics. There's no argument with that. That 200 justifies the 100 time that she ran. That's why it's like, yeah, not a fake time. But anyway.
In the semis, 984 for Kishane Thompson. In the semis, this is the 100-meter finals.
They've asked about the
Cosmic, yeah, you all the way behind.
And the men's side, it's ripe and healthy.
I'm saying, you don't think she got blue contacts.
Fireworks in the making once again.
You said that's a non-argument. No. In that case, the 400-meter world record's not valid. The 800-meter for the women are not valid. There's a bunch of stuff you could claim that's not valid, y'all. Come on now. But of course, there's an obsession to say things that Americans do is not valid, particularly black Americans. We got that bias on all the fronts. No, you are not fit to do that.
Set. Seville and the Thompson got away like rockets. Seville looks imperial.
Man.
Thompson looks imperious and commanding as well. Kishane Thompson. Step.
Man, this is very, very interesting, especially
Thompson got away like rockets.
what they said before the race and after the race, and where he shut down at. He's like, all right, I got to 60. I'm done with the race. And on top of that, I think he spurted up just a little bit, just to make sure he wanted to stay in front of Oblique. He was just like, all right, I did what I needed to do. And I think, didn't Oblique Seville shut it down too? Nah, I think he might have ran all the way through, kind of, sort of. They tested each other. They kind of realized what was going on, and then they kind of both shut it down. Let me mute them real quick. Let me go back over here. All right, there we go. Man, so Kishane Thompson. So obviously, okay, if we're going to use the logic that many people are coming here with, he hasn't done anything yet. Let's just use the logic y'all were using earlier. We can't talk about what ifs. Okay, then I can't talk about a what if Kishane is going to potentially win, because that's just a what if right now. What we do got is that the Olympic champion is Italian. What we do have is the history that Noah Lyles has been winning. So I'm going to use your logic real quick, you guys that are bringing up stuff, because it only, see, notice when people have a bias, they always use the bias in their favor. When it goes in somebody else's favor, it's invalid. Because if we keep the same energy, all of that's what if. You know how many what if scenarios Oblique Seville has had for the last 3 seasons? And yet he keeps finishing in 4th or below. Actually, if we want to be real talk here, how much hype has, now we could call it hype because he hasn't gotten the medal. How much hype has Oblique Seville got? And really, when it comes to people that are biased, and maybe some haters, because it's different with both, all a person has to be is right once, and then they're going to pretend like they weren't wrong 1,000 times. Like those people that scream, the economy's dropping, everybody, it's an implosion. They say it every year, and then they will finally right 2007, 2008, and then some of these guys became millionaires selling books to people, yet that same person was screaming for a decade, the economy's about to drop, everybody, economy's about to drop. We got those people now. Some of those same people been screaming economy's going to drop since 2011. 2011 all the way to 2019 until the pandemic happened, and then they were right. And so then everybody pretended they're right. Couldn't we just use the same thing with Oblique Seville? How many scenarios have you guys put up out there and said, Oblique Seville's got this win, and then he lost, and they got 4th. Oblique Seville's got this. Nope, not another medal. Oblique Seville's got this. Nothing, absolutely nothing behind him. So that's what I'm saying. I'm allowed to say that Sha'Carri can get a world record the same way you guys are allowed to say Oblique Seville can get a win, because he has the ability to get a win. Has he gotten a win? No. Have you guys been right? No. You've been wrong over and over and over. And now it's Kishane Thompson. What if, let's just say, what if he doesn't get a win? Will you guys come and apologize to this comment section right now and say, guys, I was wrong. You guys are right. Noah got the win, or somebody else got the win. Man, we thought Kishane did it, but I was wrong. No, you're not going to do that. You're just going to keep it moving. So, now, when it comes here, let's look at Kishane Thompson coming through with this. This man shut down, ran a 9.77, made it look easy. I got to put him as the favorite because, in all honesty, Noah Lyles does not have that type of speed. He's able to beat other people. I don't think he's raced against Kishane enough to be able to beat him because he studies his competitors. But this has to be a head-to-head matchup. That's going to be my view on it. It has to be a head-to-head matchup. And he has not raced Thompson enough for him to say, yeah, I know what it is. He's going to watch the video. He's going to do what he needs to do. But then he's got to assume that he's got something faster. And Noah probably got a 9.7 in him. But then Thompson got a 8. He's got like, oh, I'm sorry, a 9-6 at the very least. He's got a 9-6 in him. Now, will they be able to both do that at the same time? That's going to be the big question, because Noah has an ability to then go through crowds and then slowly catch people. He doesn't have the slingshot speed that Sha'Carri has, and that's going to be his biggest disadvantage in the 100. It's not enough room in the 100 for him to do it. I am certain, given enough room, even with this 9-6, maybe you extend it out to 150 or something, he probably catch about like 120 or 130. But with where he's at now, I don't really see Noah Lyles being able to do it. So the favorite has to go to Thompson. He held back. He said, hey, coach told me just to get out to 60, and after that, shut it down. And shut it down he did. We saw how relaxed this man looked. We saw how relaxed he looked. Noah Lyles, it just comes down to ability. Once again, like Sharica Jackson matched up with Sha'Carri Richardson, same thing here. In this case, Noah is in the place of Sharica Jackson in the case, the example that I used. But Sharica probably could have something going for her. And to the person that said they don't know why she's doing a 100, why not? Why don't you just get more? Number one, 100 gets more publicity and more money toward that event. So at the end of the day, these athletes are professionals. They're trying to bring something home, right? They're trying to bring something home. So I can see why she's doing it. I can see why coach is like, hey, we want to set her up for a world record and everything like that. Plus, doing the 100, obviously, as she's improved in her 100, she's improved in her 200. So why not? That's the way I look at it. That's what athletes usually do. You don't usually see a person do one event unless it's just 100 and they're older. A couple of exceptions was Asafa Powell and everything like that. But a lot of times we see these people do it because they just can't qualify out their own championships. And then we just associate them with, oh, this person's only a 200 or this person's only a 1. No, they're both, but they can only be good in one. So in this case, Noah Lyles, I don't think he has the ability right now from what he's shown me. Maybe he could do something to work on this in the future. I'm very confident. He's kind of like Batman. Prep time, give him enough prep time, he could beat you. Right now, he just don't got the speed. He just doesn't have the speed. I see this power coming through on the track right now. Look at this man eating up the track. And when Oblique tried to accelerate, man, look at Oblique try to challenge him right here. He's like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. And then he shut it down. Let's do this one more time. Okay, they're here. And this is where, right here, Oblique started to try harder. And all he did was, burp, and then stop. That was it. He tried a little bit harder. He was like, yeah, that ain't happening. And then he shut it down. That is not something that Noah Lyles has the ability to do. Now, if Noah Lyles has a good start, he's going to have a better start than he normally does. He has a chance of getting it. But if I put it down to 10 races out of 10, let's say between Lyles and Thompson, I'm going to give it to Thompson 8 times out of 10. I got to say that. Right now, off of what I'm seeing, 8 times out of 10. Now, when it comes down to a potential Jamaica 1-2, I can see because Seville beat him that he might be able to. That's a big might. Because in all honesty, if Noah Lyles is in a 9-7 shape, he might still get Oblique Seville again. And remember, we got Tobago and other people in there too. Is this going to be yet another year that Seville, again, does not get a medal? Is he about to turn into Talou? Let's have an honest conversation. Is he going to be the athlete to turn into a Talou in that 100? Where Talou can get a medal once, but every other time, she's basically 4th and 5th place. Almost all the time. You look at her, it's like 4th, 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 5th, 5th, 4th, 4th, 4th. And then the one time she could have won, she should have just leaned. But, hey, she didn't. And then, the America won. So, I think that's where I see it right now. Let me read this. Let me read this real quick. Somebody talk about genetically modified food up in here. Hold up. Let me start reading some of y'all comments. Thunder Juice said, they say, is Thompson running the 200? That's a good question. Y'all best athletes dope just like our best athletes dope. Huh? Huh? They said, so because Asafa said he was innocent, that makes him... What are y'all talking about doping? Where y'all... Man, Valerie, get your hating ass out of here. You saying Flojo time fake. That time ain't fake. They said, modern records is all I care about. Old records are fluke. Yes, of course. Many of you guys will say this because it's to your advantage. You know, it's kind of like how the white supremacists, I'm white and I say so. When it's not to their advantage, when it's to their advantage, they say, oh, free market capitalism, everything. And when it's to their advantage to say the other, when they say, oh, protectionism is our thing. It doesn't matter. Because if the old records were Jamaican records or, you know, Bahamian records, whatever it is, because some people are coming from different countries here. I can see some of the people, the regular comments. Okay, if they were there, I'm pretty sure some of you guys would care about them. But because they're not, they're like, I don't really care. I don't care about them. But they're kind of hovering on your head, so you can't deny it. You see a big fat United States flag, and you just like, man, I hate that. I hate that this time is here. I hate, if Michael Johnson's time was still there, you would have been like, I don't care about that time either. That time isn't legitimate. That's all I would hear. I see it very consistently with people. So, with that being said, let's just be able to appreciate people running fast times when they are. Appreciate people, and shout out to America for having the record for so long. Flojo had the record. She came and she went, and if you say she was drugged out, hey, guess what? She ain't got proven. It is what it is. I don't know what else to say. You know what else I feel kind of funny about? The 400 and 800 meter women's records. But what can we do? They're still there. So I don't really complain about it. They're legitimate records. I'm like, until somebody else gets them, then it's the new one. Because the way I look at it is that the competitors she was competing around, they were fast. I mean, look at Evelyn Ashford, first woman to break 11, and then she went to a 10-7 range. And imagine she did that back then. Still kept competing after they were checking for drugs and stuff too, before y'all be like, oh, she was doped up. Okay. And she still kept competing, just doing all types of stuff, still able to bring home the gold and everything with the United States on the relays. She was a beast. And then we went through eras where not a single woman could break 11 seconds, really. Not consistently, including Jamaica. So we got to keep that in mind. Now, getting back to some more comments here. I don't know. I don't really want to look up that. Let me go back to some of these. What is up with this hormones and genetically modified stuff? You know what? In the future, I'm going to have a call-in program. And when people start saying something off the wall, I'm going to do like what Jason Black does. You got to call in. Because some of y'all say some stuff about things. And then y'all just say whatever. Y'all just talking out of the side of y'all neck. I'm going to start doing Zoom and call-in stuff. And then if the person don't call in, I'm just going to ban you off the channel. Because some of y'all saying the Americans look like a doper look. I'm damn near ready to ban your ass. Like, what does a, quote, doper look like? Like, what does a doper look like? Y'all kind of sound like that, what is that, one YouTuber saying that, oh, here's how most of the college athletes are doping. And then, so when somebody's questioning him on his time, now he's like, no, my time is legitimate. I legitimately went, no, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Sound like Bill Clinton, right? Anybody can say anything. Like that time he said, oh, all these people, these distance runners, at least 8 of them are, doping right now. Like, okay, which 8? At least 8. What do you mean at least 8? It's like if somebody went up to him and said, you kind of look like a pedophile. I suspect that you might be a pedophile. You might touch on kids. Like, what kind of stuff is that? Unless you got hardcore proof or something that logically makes sense, then what you're saying is a complete BS. Like, some of the people here, and I don't even think that dude's a black American. That's not even our energy, to be honest. Nor is that other dude. I can see I start finally looking at my analytics. I can see some of the channels that you guys watch. Some of the channels that y'all watch, I'm like, dang. It's literally hating ass channels. It's literally that guy and then some 100K dude. Both of them are basically the same thing if it's not the same person. And I'm just like, I just looked at video titles and clicked on one for each of them. And I was like, how could your brain cells tolerate this? because the dude is just saying bogus stuff. I'm glad a thing Mo didn't make it. Like when some of y'all have come in my comment section saying, hey, these guys are out here laughing at our American athletes getting injured and all of that. Like I was halfway not believing it, and then I went to listen to that because I don't listen to other people. I finally did because I'm trying to change things up here, and I'm like, damn, they really are. I'm like, man. So, but anyway, going forward, we're going to it doesn't matter if somebody's living into a certain area, whatever like that. If somebody's not necessarily, you know, of the culture, descendant of American slave, that's not a black American. It's just not. Just like many people are European Americans. They came here like the last 60 years or 100 years. They're not the America from when America started. But anyway, that's a different topic. So staying on to sports. Here, I'm going to cover the 200 meters. I think I might go live tonight, or I might do it tomorrow, because I'm kind of liking how I'm doing it during the day. What do you guys think? Because I kind of got things to do and workouts to have and all of that stuff. That's why I'm not doing it right after the races every night, because I got my workouts and everything that I'm doing, especially on my other channel. So you guys let me know. What do you guys want me to go live tonight, or is it better that I'm having it during the day, like tomorrow? Like I did today. While I got you guys here. They said hate is more profitable than love. I just wonder about that. I wonder about that. I was thinking about that too, but then I'm like, yeah, nobody's really respected when they're hating on somebody. Because if they ever get in a jam, ain't nobody coming after their ass. They're not coming after to help them at all. I just wonder about that. It might be short-term, quote, more profitable, and then you kind of look at who got your back or when something goes bad. This week, I did some copyright strikes, put my name because it says your real legal name, and then the next day, all of my accounts, bank accounts, everything except for PayPal, froze. I was like, what the hell is going on? I look up stuff, do a background check on myself, nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'm like, damn. So they left me with like $40. That was all. And then there are some people that know me. They're like, hey, look, I got you. You didn't help me out. You didn't got me this. You didn't got me a few $1,000s. You didn't got me $10,000 before. It's people that came up and they say, okay, cool. You know what? I got you. But then I'm like, oh, well, I can't accept it. My bank froze. This thing froze. This thing froze. How y'all gonna get it to me? Then I found out my PayPal's okay. I'm like, damn. But I wouldn't have that type of thing. And some of these other people wouldn't have that if we didn't. I may as well start talking about some business-related stuff. So for the people that were here for all of that, no, I'm not going to get on camera. There's absolutely no point. I don't see a point. I'm just a commentator. It's not about me. If this thing was about me showing my face, then I would. But it's not. I'm just a talking head. That's it. I bring the analysis as I should. And for the people that are in the crowd, because there's a couple of y'all that know me. Some that know me personally, and then some that met me. Okay, cool. That's fine. But as far as me showing my face, is absolutely no incentive for me to do it, because absolutely not. I don't see any point. So that's just for me. And for privacy reasons, I've had stalkers, internet stalkers several times over that made fake accounts, especially when it came to crypto, YouTube, and everything. I used to show my face on those. I'm pretty sure those are floating around somewhere. You could just recognize my voice. But in any case, nah, I don't have any incentive. And then Lolo Jones, you were saying something about that. Let me do something real quick. Let me pull this up. So let me take that off of the screen. And then Lolo Jones. In all honesty, Lolo Jones competing. Let me just do it this way. Lolo Jones competing is kind of like, no. That's all I got to say. I'm gonna just put it that way. I was gonna put up the race there, but nah. I'm gonna put it this way. At some point, just stop, because she's kind of said some very weird stuff over the years, like her being in a bathtub and then at a college campus with no clothes on. Like that weirded me out from her already. She says some really off the wall stuff for being a quote virgin and all of that stuff. And I'm like, it screams crying for attention. But as far as that, her going there, like, that's great that she's able to compete. It's great that she's able to, you know, try to go for that. And if more power to her and everything like that for Lolo Jones. But I'm not really caring for it. I'm not really caring for it. Like the personality stuff that she's shown over the years, that kind of turned me off from her. So if she's there, if she's not there, I'm just like, whatever. If she's able to set world records or whatever going forward, if she's at the 2028 Olympics, I wouldn't even care to mention her or to be even bothered by it. If she's in the race, it'd be like the DSD athlete, and I'm just going to skip over her name, and it's just going to be like, this person is here, that person, that lane, and then blank, and then the next one. That's kind of how I'm at it with the energy level. Like, no hate on her, but she just kind of said some things that rubbed me the wrong way over the years. Her, on her personal thing where she's there. As an athlete, it's kind of bled over to that. I can't separate it. You said you need $100,000 emergency cash. Well, that may be true. That may be true. I mean, you need to have about 6 to 12 months of an emergency fund. So, yeah, that may be true. And some of my bills just for rent for an apartment, $2,700 to $3,500 a month. So, I mean, do the math on that one. But anyway, let me see. I don't know about guilty or innocent about doping, about the verdict on Knighton was too quick. It looks fishy. Okay, let me address that one. So y'all need to go to my video, and let me go to my channel real quick. It's probably about to play one of my videos. Here, just go to this video right here. Where is it at? The one that got 100 and something views. Yeah, it's very low views here. So if you go to this one, it says racism in sports before USA and Jamaica Olympic trials. Just go to that video. It's under the live tab. Is what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 videos back. Okay, including this one. Just go there and then listen to that video. It's like I called it beforehand. I just said out of the blue, they're going to start talking about this doping stuff all over here. It's not so fast, it's suspicious. Because when you think about Brianna Williams, I'm going to keep going back to that. Because once people start saying this, I'm going to keep the same energy with everybody else. Number one, let's stop hating on just athletes in the U.S. Because some of the athletes are going to be foreign born in the U.S. and they still going to say something. Because it's like, hey, let's hate on the winners. So I don't think that was done too quickly. Because on the one hand, you got the championships right there. That's one. And then two, also, I think that was Brianna Williams finished her thing in less than 14 days. It was like a snap because there was another championships that was around. That's what happened with her. I covered a video on her actual time. They wiped away the time because they acknowledged, okay, you had these illegal substances in your system, but because you didn't do it intentionally, we're not going to ban you. Boom, that's what it was. Shelly Ann Fraser-Price, you got these illegal substances in your system, but because you actually had your braces, because those were the legal substances, we're going to let you go off of that. Bam. I could bring up every single athlete that is not in the U.S. and in the U.S. and go down the list. Let's not go there because it's a whole bunch of Jamaicans on there. It's a whole bunch of Brits on there. It's a whole bunch of Germans on there. It's a whole bunch of people on there in general that go down the list. That's why I say it becomes pointless to then talk about all of the here's dope in this, here's dope in that. Let them do their thing behind the scenes. It becomes a little suspicious, like when they did Blessing Okabare. That's the suspicious part. They gonna pull her out right now. I find it very interesting that you're saying it's suspicious that they're clearing this up fast. But how come they couldn't do that with Blessing Okabare? They pulled her out right before the women's semifinal. They said, man, nigga, get the hell out of here. That's what they did. They pull her out. They had to have those results because those were months before. But then they waited until the semifinals, like right before. Not here's the day before, here's this. They right before the semis, they yanked her out and was like, yeah, you ejected, you're banned. Matter of fact, we got an FBI investigation on you. The definition of something suspicious. That was just too much excessive force. In my opinion, that was too much excessive force on her. Wait a minute, huh? Houses in Abuja, Nigeria is dirt cheap. If you work for yourself, stop paying rent in America. St. Clay, man, I got places in Uganda, Nigeria, and Kenya. And I'm still in the U.S. I got my places there. I travel to different places. Lagos is actually dirt cheap too. I mean, if you go to GRA, that's okay. That's got good security. You go to Banana Island and everything. That's pretty decent compared to some places in the U.S. It's actually equivalent, right? If I go from where I am at to the places on the island or something, it's about equivalent. If you break it down month by month, but you're paying a year in advance. So yes, you could even tell that I'm actually very familiar with all of this. Yes, and I help people get different housing in West and East Africa. I do a lot of different work throughout all of this stuff. That's why I say I run into people just hating on the U.S. all the time and stuff too. Just me personally. But anyway, I'm done with the main topic. We're on overtime right now. We just having a chat, a chill. If anybody wants to call in themselves and have a chat, I'll bring up on a Zoom. If anybody wants to do that, I'll light up the Zoom so that we can have a quick chat with the family and everything like that, because I'm done with the main topic. So we're just kind of going on to different topics here. I can start talking about business. I did that on the last one. Like I said, my channel is now toward business and sports together. So I'm going to use the athletes as the moniker behind the scenes as far as that, and then just talk about business and sports together. So it's not going to just be one. It's going to be both of them together. Because I need us to start making some money. Shelly has oxycodone, hardly a performance-enhancing drug. Yeah, and then Sha'Carri had weed, and then look what happened there. You know, it kind of uses different headlines and everything like that. That was hardly anything, but apparently what's illegal is illegal. It don't even matter, actually. Think about it like that. If it's illegal to them, they're going to ban your ass. And what she had was an illegal substance, so they're going to ban your ass. That's all it is. That's all I'm talking about. I'm talking about apples to apples. If you use something that's illegal, and in her case, she had braces, so she had to do it, but that's still an illegal thing. So when you think about it, it's like, man, technically people can get around certain stuff depending on what they got. I mean, people with ADHD, they get to use things that normally would be classified as a performance-enhancing drug, but because they need it for their ADHD, Simone Biles, Justin Gatlin, other people, they allowed them to use those. But then it's like, dang, technically, ain't they kind of getting an enhancement because of this? But it's a health issue, but then at the same time, for their athletic, they're getting advancement. That's what some other people said. So that's why I said, man, the whole thing is just a kind of a wash. Because now you're getting into technicalities. Because one person is using it, yeah, but that's because they need it for their health issue. So does that actually balance it out, or does that give them an unfair advantage? Then it starts to get into those things, which are dumb conversations, to be honest. Those are just dumb conversations. Okay, it says, but Nick, it happens in some countries more than others. There is a list of countries for doping free on Google, and Jamaica ain't in top 10. Yeah, I mean, you could look at Russia and whatnot for, you know, state sanctioned stuff. You know, in some cases, they're like, yo, we ain't do no state sanctioned stuff. And they're having their own stuff, like the BRICS games and the Russian something. They got that. I want to cover that a lot of times, and then I just wind up being lazy on it, to be honest. They have their own athletes in Asia and Eastern Europe that compete all the time. And some African nations come there. They got the university games that was hosted in Russia last year. They got some of the top athletes. They're not banned. Some of them, they have it's like a vested interest to say, hey, we found one or two of your athletes there, so we're going to have this whole propaganda, and you just believe it because they said so. It's like, what is there to say behind it? Is there anybody to push back on it? I don't know. All we could go by is what is up there and who's there. That's all we could go by. So anyway, other than that, looks like nobody's interested in getting on Zoom, so I think I am going to go. Thank you guys for being here. Let me check something real quick. They said the 4x1. Oh yeah, my chat isn't even updated. As far as the 4x1, let me get to that one real quick. 4x1 is going to be one hell of a thing. I think the world record can go down. Every single time I'm seeing the fast teams come by, I'm like, world record watch. Every single year. So I'm finna be that one that's going to be wrong, and then I get right that one time. I'm finna gloat about it. I'm telling y'all right now ahead of time. I'm finna be like, yeah, guys, I was right. I thought Jamaica should have got the 4x1 world record back in the Tokyo Olympics. But then those handoffs. So that's how things work sometimes. You could look at things and everything was there. They had the best 3 athletes in the field. They had the fastest athletes combined total as far as times. And then they didn't get it. Their handoffs were atrocious. Yet a team that you could look back and say the American team wasn't quite as fast individually. They had one hell of a mean curve runner. You got Alice and Felix doing their thing on there. But yet Jamaica could not beat the time. And that's just what it is. So, I'm going to leave it here. This is Nick, your host, and this is Head and Shoulders ATR, where we cover athletes' performances and otherwise that are head and shoulders above the rest. Be sure to check us out either tonight or tomorrow, and we're going to do another live stream covering these 200s that are going to happen in the 200 finals for USA and Jamaica. Peace out, guys. And you're welcome, the Buffalo